If you ask us questions, we will be honest with you and tell you you're a bad parent.
I won't actually
I will
say that to you. You're a terrible person.
Welcome to another episode of Is This for Kids? I am Jonathan Beard of Blevins.
I am Katie, MrsRuvi Ruvalcaba.
Katie, MrsRuvi Ruvalcaba.
So weird to throw in my handle in the middle for me.
I don't think it's weird. It's great. And a quick reminder, this is This for Kids? Your favorite podcast and your favorite podcast.
It's definitely my favorite podcast, but it's not a podcast that's going to make me feel bad about being a mom. It's just going to help me, right?
Yeah. We're not here to judge parents or parenting. Although if you ask us questions, we will be honest with you and tell you you're a bad parent.
I won't actually
I will
say that to you. You're a terrible person.
No, but this is just to help.
Yeah, we're just trying to, there's so much out there in the world. We just want to give you something to work from, some opinions on it, just a little bit of background information on various movies, TV shows, things like that. And we got a couple of TV shows today, huh?
We do. Some classics. Ones you might just assume are for kids, but there are new parents out there who might not have had a chance to watch a lot of these shows that we're going to be talking about or movies. And they may be wondering, is this okay to let my kid watch? And so that's why we're going to be talking about some of these, even if they're not super controversial.
Yeah, like one of the ones that we're going to talk about today is Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And my question was more, does it hold up?
Yeah, and my question is, does he actually have tattoos? Which we'll get to. But first, I heard that you are an expert on Mr. Rogers, the person. And I have some rumors and urban legends I've heard, and I want to know if you can clear them up.
I'll do my best. I'm a huge fan of Mr. Rogers, so yeah.
Okay, I love conspiracy theories, and as people get to know us as this podcast goes on, more of that will probably be revealed. I don't necessarily believe in a lot of conspiracy theories. I just really enjoy them.
Which ones do you believe?
See, that's...
Like Paul McCartney totally died in 1966, 100%.
You actually believe that?
Oh, yeah.
Avril Lavigne, for sure, died as well. And has a body double.
I didn't even know that was
I kind of unironically believe that one.
Yeah?
Yeah, but the one I think I actually believe the most is 100% Area 51. Like the government knows there are aliens, and we have alien bodies for sure, and they're hiding them from us.
I heard somebody talking about this recently where they're like, yeah, it's just so routine now that they're just like, oh, yeah, I picked up 5 or 6 bodies on my... It's just, it's illogical.
Yeah, what's illogical?
The idea that they crossed all this space, all these aliens cross this huge vastness of space, and they repeatedly land on the same planet so many times that it has become routine for airmen to just pick them up while they're wandering around the same desert.
Some of the aliens made it into the ocean. You might call them an octopus.
Those are just octopuses, John.
Oh, really? They're
one.
Geniuses.
I shook hands with an octopus.
They're smarter than I am.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
You are an expert, Mr. Rogers?
I am.
Yes?
Definitely.
Okay. So I want to let you know some of the things I've heard and chose to believe because it sounded fun.
Do you want me to ruin it?
Does Mr. Rogers, in fact, have tons of tattoos under the sweater? Or did he?
No.
Seriously?
Did not. No tattoos.
Was he a violent Navy SEAL who won multiple awards in combat in the Vietnam War?
He was a Presbyterian minister. Now, he did get a little wild, and he started out at Dartmouth before switching colleges, but no, he was never a Navy SEAL. Definitely didn't kill anybody.
And so the award he was given by President Bush was just
for
because
media.
of his TV
Yeah, it was a media award.
Okay. Yikes. And this one is not fun to believe. This is not one of the fun ones. And it's been rumored that he was abusive. Used the show to abuse kids.
No. Of all of the people who have ever had access to children or be in children's television, any large contact with children, he has never been accused of anything by anyone.
So why do you think so many rumors are flying around about Mr. Rogers? Is it because he's such a perfect guy and we just have to have something bad about people? He's got to be Bill Cosby.
He's kind. He's soft-spoken. He's a good father. He's a good man. And I feel like people just have a difficult time accepting that that's the case, that you can be a strong, religious, soft-spoken man and not have any skeletons in your closet. You know what he does own in his closet? Sneakers, sweaters.
Really?
He puts them on every episode.
Does he wear the same color every single time?
Nope.
Daniel Tiger does.
Well,
there is an episode where Daniel Tiger is upset because his red sweater is not clean and he has to wear a blue sweater.
Do you relate to that, John?
No, I do not, but we'll get there.
All right.
We'll get there. So Mr. Rogers, give us a little bit about what it is, what people should expect. Is it still even on? Can kids watch Mr. Rogers?
So you can find Mr. Rogers the same place that you can find Daniel Tiger. It's in the PBS app or PBS streaming services, however you access those. Sometimes it'll be on replays on public television. But Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood is basically 1970s, maybe a little late 60s TV show having to do with little kids and their imaginations and helping them to process strong emotions. So Mr. Rogers envisioned this show as a way for kids to work through difficult times in their lives. And he would bring up topics that were, at the time, incredibly difficult for kids to work with. Things like divorce, death, things that people weren't really talking to children about, but that children were still experiencing. And his whole goal was to help them to be able to process through those things using the land of make-believe. Would you like to guess who was in the land of make-believe?
No. Daniel Tiger was in the land of make-believe?
That's where Daniel Tiger comes from. He was a puppet in the land of make-believe.
Seriously?
With Lady Elaine and yeah.
So I've watched about 4 or 5 episodes of Mr. Rogers and didn't see Daniel Tiger in one of those episodes. So he's not in every episode.
Yeah, he says meow after everything he says in Mr. Rogers. He's like, oh, hi, meow.
Interesting. And that's where he comes from. So it's I knew that Daniel Tiger was based off Mr. Rogers, but didn't understand how.
Yep.
Okay. Is Mr. Rogers as unpalatable as Daniel Tiger can be at times?
I don't have as strong of an aversion to Daniel Tiger as you see.
Oh, we're going to get into it.
Mr. Rogers has this very, very even keel, very calm demeanor about him. There's no background music. There's a little bit of background music for transitions, but there's not like a constant ongoing thing. It's a lot chiller than your average TV show these days for kids.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so you think Mr. Rogers is totally fine for kids. You talked about, it mentions like really serious stuff, right? Divorce is a serious thing. Death is a serious thing.
Yeah, there's this thing that was going around social media for a little while there where you saw Mr. Rogers with his feet in a pool with his mail carrier, letter carrier, whatever the correct term is now, who's a black man. And at the time, it was like during a summer when there was a situation about black people being able to use the pools. And so him sitting in the public pools. So him sitting in his front yard with his feet sharing a pool with us was like a big deal for people at the time. And he was just a good man who just wanted to show that people are people and we love everybody. And he was fantastic in that way about being really great about embracing the times and seeing what was going on there. So like the episode that I rewatched for this one with my little daughter was about death. And I think you would have lost your mind. If you're looking for it, it's season 7, episode 1. Mr. Rogers comes in, changes his sweater, and says, "Let's look at the fish. You see the dead fish in there?" And then they pan down, dead fish, bottom of the thing, and they scoop it out, and he tries to put salt on it to bring it back. It doesn't come back. And then they bury it. It's a whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So those examples right there, that's great. Mr. Rogers is a hero.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm seeing on social media is a video where it looks like he's flicking a camera off.
That is just him doing like the "here is ring."
Yeah, he's doing a game.
Yeah, he's playing
a game.
Mm-hmm.
So we've just got Mr. Rogers all wrong. He's awesome.
I don't have Mr. Rogers.
Well, I didn't either. I just didn't really think about him a lot.
Yeah, I have always loved Mr. Rogers. I'm a huge Mr. Rogers fan. He died in 2003, which was the year I finished high school. I was just obsessed with making sure everybody knows how good Mr. Rogers is and how worth your time he is.
Yeah. Okay. I'm in. I'm with you. The episodes I saw, I thought were great. I didn't have a chance to. I watched them when my kids were sleeping. So like, I didn't even get to ask my kids, like, let them watch it and see what they think.
Sorry.
He's throwing pens and markers.
Sometimes I drop stuff.
So I would say my kids, I think it's absolutely for kids.
Yeah.
Do you think that kids would enjoy Mr. Rogers though?
Yeah, I watched it with my 2-year-old most recently because it's the most appropriate. My next oldest kid is 9, so he's not going to be into it. But she sat through an episode. She was engaged. She talked back to him. She was interested. She was like, "Oh, the fishy died." Oh, she was definitely there with it. But at the end of it, she wanted to get up and play. And that's what I think is the genius of Mr. Rogers. It's not this addictive television that we have nowadays for kids where they want to consume episode after episode after episode. It's built to be a 23-minute episode. You watch it, you learn something, you move on, and you go play. And that's what she did. She went and played with her trains because Mr. Rogers had a train.
If Mr. Rogers is a 10 out of 10, is for kids, what is Sesame Street for you?
New Sesame Street, Old Sesame Street.
Old.
Oh, 10 out of 10.
New.
3 out of 10.
Oh, we have to do a Sesame Street one soon.
Oh, no.
Oh, we're going to do that soon. That'll be really fun.
Like, have you ever watched the old episodes where Mr. Hooper died?
No.
Okay. It was before I was even born.
I watched Barney and thought it was awesome. Like, when I was a kid, Barney was dope.
Now Barney was garbage.
What?
Barney was garbage.
He taught me about love.
Where were your parents?
Everything I know about
Mrs.
love
Blevins.
and sacrifice, I learned from Barney. I'm kidding. But I do remember thinking it was
I know
kind of
your
cool.
mom. She's nice.
No, my mom taught me about love.
Okay.
But the whole song, it's a great song.
Okay.
Is Mr. Rogers for kids? You're saying all ages?
Yeah, Mr. Rogers is for kids of all ages. And I would also throw out there that my oldest son is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. He will sit through, even as a little kid, he would sit, before he was on any medication, would sit through an entire episode of Mr. Rogers, and would engage him and his idea of play. So I think it's good for all kids, all ages, all neurodivergent types.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great words.
Neurodivergent.
I'm with you. It's for all ages. I'm excited to see if my kids think that Mr. Rogers is as cool as I think he is.
Yeah. I heard that we were on Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah.
And I heard that they could leave comments to tell us like what they would like us to review. They could do all sorts of that. That's all available to you.
They can also find us on any place you can listen to podcasts and give us 5 stars. We're just trying to help. We know that there are people out there who are like, well, Mr. Rogers and Daniel Tiger, of course it's for kids. But my brother just has a 3-month-old now, and he doesn't know what Daniel Tiger is. So there might be parents out there who are like, hey, I have something I can let my kid watch now.
This is a brand new information. Yeah, exactly.
What a blessing.
What a blessing.
We'll see you next time.
Hey, thanks for being here.